I wanted to show you my experience with a couple of hand primers. This is the Lee Auto Prime XR. I got this with a Lee reloading kit, and it comes with both a tray for large primers and small primers, and I'm going to be demonstrating it with 45 Colt, so we have the large primer tray installed. And you have to put the appropriate shell holder in here. You just push down on the spring-loaded tray and slide your shell holder in place. And there's a little channel right here that the primers will follow that channel and then go into one at a time in here to prime your cartridge. So you put the cartridge in here, the primer falls into place here, and then the next stroke will push it up into the primer. Now the problem with this hand primer is this designed to work like this with your thumb. And the problem is it takes a pretty fair amount of force to seat that well. And I usually end up doing like this. It does seat it. You can see that's seated actually a little bit deep, but that's fine. You'd rather have it deep than not deep enough. The problem is if you're loading 100, 200 shells, this gets really tough. In fact, the last time I did it, just the way I'm pressing here, I actually wore a blister on this thumb and wore the skin off of it just by pressing on it with this thumb. So I had been told by a good friend of mine that he much preferred the RCBS hand primer, and I bought one of those, and that is this one. Now this, they make two models of this. There's a universal primer and one that uses shell holders. Now, as you can see, this does not have a shell holder. It has two little spring-loaded catches here. And the idea is you could put any size cartridge in there, and those spring-loaded catches will fit it. See if I can give you a real good view here of how these spring-loaded contraptions work. And see, once it's in place, you can actually move it side to side because the spring catches do move. So you do have to make sure you're centered. If you're like that, the plunger will hit the case and won't put the primer in place. So you have to kind of center it up, and then it'll work. And once you get the hang of it, you kind of get the feel for it, it works pretty good. Every now and then I will get one that did not catch real well, and the case will come flying out of it. There we went. That was one that didn't catch well. Primer went that way, or casing went that way, primer went that way. So that is the reason, if I had it to do over again, I would have bought the one that utilizes shell holders rather than this universal spring-loaded thing. Now the thing I like about this is, instead of using your thumb on the lever, you're actually using your whole grip like this. And it also has a little safety gate here that keeps primers from going up this channel until that's opened. Then they'll fall into place. Give it a squeeze. And there you are, and that's seated very well. You can actually feel it bottom out and tell when you're really well seated. This, I find, is much, much easier to use. Just the leverage you get on this grip is much better than trying to push those in with your thumb. Once you get the hang of it and you get used to feeling when it's in the center, it works very well. But the big advantage is the grip. It just takes much less effort and much less wear on your hands to prime 100 or 200 cartridges with this. And to refill it, very simple. Lid pops off. Put it over your primer. You can give it a few shakes and they will all turn right side up due to these little magic grooves they have in here. Put your lid back on, snaps into place. Put it back in the primer. And when you get rolling with this, it goes quite quickly. I can do 100 cartridges pretty quickly. And every now and then you have to give it a little shake. Sometimes your primers will get bunched up here, you get two together and they won't feed down through the channel. So you just give a little shake like that and they should start feeding correctly again. Anyway, that's a comparison between the Lee and the RCBS. Between the two, I would much prefer the RCBS, but I would get it with the version that uses a shell holder instead of this universal. I hope that helps.